Humans survive things that should erase existence. I learned this impossible fact after watching one of them laugh while dying. My name is Valor 7, a hunter of the Kharuun Dominion. I was trained to understand every living species in the galaxy. Every creature has a limit. Every body has a failure point. Every mind breaks under enough pressure. That was the first law of survival. Humans were the first mistake in that law. I was assigned to observe them on a small blue planet called Earth. My mission was simple. Enter their educational structure. Locate the target. Remove the threat. Return. The target was a human child. This confused me. The Dominion had eliminated leaders, warriors, scientists, and commanders. Never children. But the order was clear. The child was dangerous. I assumed the humans had made an error. They were emotional creatures. Primitive. Unstable. They protected weak members of their group because their minds were damaged by attachment. That was my conclusion. It was wrong. I entered the human structure during their learning cycle. They called a classroom, a room filled with small humans sitting quietly. I expected fear. I expected chaos. Instead, they were smiling. This was my first misunderstanding. Humans smiled when safe. Humans smiled when happy. Humans also smiled when facing danger. I recorded this as a biological malfunction. The child I was hunting sat near a transparent wall, holding a small device and making drawings. No armor, no weapon, no guards, no protection. A perfect target. I watched him for 11 minutes. He noticed me. A trained hunter can recognize when prey detects a predator. The child looked directly at me. Then he smiled. I prepared for a defensive response. None came. The child simply returned to his drawing. Impossible. No creature ignored death. I decided humans were not intelligent enough to understand danger. That explanation satisfied me. Then the teacher entered. Another human. Older. Unarmed. She saw me standing in the corner. Her reaction was unusual. She did not attack. She did not run. She moved between me and the children. I calculated her behavior. A protective instinct. A simple animal response. The adult human believed her smaller body could stop me. I almost felt curiosity. Almost. The teacher looked at the children and calmly instructed them to remain still. This confused me further. Humans did not panic. They organized. They created order inside fear. I had studied thousands of species. Fear always spread. A single terrified creature could destroy an entire group. But humans did something different. They shared fear. They carried it together. I marked this as irrational. A weakness. Then the alarms began. My arrival had been detected. Human security forces were coming. I expected the classroom to become a battlefield. I was prepared. The children would scream. The adults would run. The humans would reveal their true nature. Instead, something stranger happened. The children moved closer together. They protected the smallest among them. The teacher stayed in front. The child I targeted continued drawing. I studied him again. Why was he calm? Why was he not afraid? My sensors detected his heartbeat. It was elevated. He was afraid. So why did he remain still? That question disturbed me. The strongest creatures in the galaxy escaped fear. Humans did not. They moved with it. I finally understood their pattern. Humans were not fearless. They were creatures that continued after fear arrived. A dangerous mistake in my calculations. But I still believed I understood them. I believed their survival came from cooperation, from numbers, from emotional bonds. I believed the individual human was weak. I was about to learn how wrong I was. The classroom doors opened. 5 human soldiers entered. They carried advanced weapons. Their armor was impressive. I considered them the true threat. The children behind them were irrelevant. The soldiers aimed at me. I prepared to fight. Then the smallest human child stood up. The target. My mission. The creature I had ignored. He looked at the soldiers. Then at me. Then he walked forward. Every survival instinct in my body activated. No prey approached a predator. But this human did. Slowly. Quietly. Like he was not walking toward danger. Like he was walking toward something familiar. I scanned him. No weapons. No hidden armor. No enhanced muscles. Nothing. I decided the child was confused. A damaged young creature. A perfect example of human weakness. Then he reached into his pocket. The soldiers raised their weapons. The teacher moved forward. I prepared to eliminate him. The child pulled out a small object. A simple piece of human technology. A device used for communication. I almost laughed. Was this their defense? A small machine? A child's toy? Then the device activated. Every screen in the classroom changed. Every soldier stopped. My systems detected a signal. Not from the device. From a child. My scanners failed. Then failed again. Impossible readings appeared. The child was not sending the signal. He was the signal. I stepped back. For the first time in my existence, I felt something I had never recorded before. Not fear. Not confusion. Something deeper. Recognition. The Dominion had not sent me to kill a child. They had sent me because they were afraid of him. And most terrifying part was this. The child did not know why. The child did not know why. That was the first human behavior I could not classify. Every dangerous creature I had encountered knew its own power. They displayed it. They used it. They worshipped it. Humans hid theirs. I had mistaken this for weakness. It was not weakness. It was control. The classroom lights flickered. The soldiers lowered their weapons. Not because they were ordered. Because they were afraid. This confused me. They were humans. The child was human. Why would they fear one of their own? I searched my memory banks. I found no answer. Then the teacher placed a hand on the child's shoulder. A simple gesture. The signal stopped. The impossible energy disappeared. The child became ordinary again. Small, quiet, harmless. My calculations collapsed. The power was not in the child. It was in the choice. The child was choosing not to use it. That discovery disturbed me more than the ability itself. A creature that cannot control power is dangerous. A creature that can control it is terrifying. I stepped backward. The soldiers noticed. They looked surprised. I realized something impossible. They had expected me to attack. They had prepared to fight. But they did not know what I had discovered. They feared the child. I feared understanding the child. I escaped the classroom before the humans could capture me. This was not because I was defeated. That was my official report. I was gathering information. I was analyzing. I was calculating. Those are the words I used. The truth was different. I was running. My species does not run. Not from enemies. Not from death. Not from anything. But I ran from a human child holding a small communication device. The Dominion demanded answers. They wanted a report. They wanted the target eliminated. I returned to my ship. I transmitted everything. The response came quickly. Continue mission. A simple command. I understood. The Dominion did not believe me. They thought I had malfunctioned. They thought human emotions had infected my judgment. Another mistake. They believed humans were dangerous because they fought. They were wrong. Humans were dangerous because they protected. I returned to Earth. But this time I watched. I studied. I looked for the pattern. Humans always had one. Every species does. The Kharuun hunt. The Vare calculate. The Zal creatures multiply. Humans must have a weakness. I needed to find it. Days passed. I watched the classroom. I watched the child. His name was Daniel. A meaningless human sound. He played. He learned. He laughed. Nothing about him made sense. He struggled with simple tasks. He dropped objects. He forgot information. He made mistakes. Yet every time he failed, he tried again. I recorded this behavior. Incorrectly. I believe humans were obsessed with failure. I did not understand. They were not celebrating failure. They were practicing survival. Then the attack began. The Dominion had lost patience. They sent an elimination unit. Not soldiers. Assassins. Creatures like me. The best hunters in the galaxy. I knew their methods. Silent entry. Perfect timing. No emotion. No mistakes. I had been one of them. The assassins entered the human school during the learning cycle. They moved through shadows. They ignored the adults. They ignored the children. They focused on the target. Daniel. Again, I believed I understood. They would kill the child. The threat would end. But then humans did what humans always did. They surprised me. A small human saw the assassin. A child. Any other species would freeze. This child did not. He walked toward danger. Just like Daniel. I recorded the same error. Human children did not understand survival. Then the child pointed behind the assassin. The assassin turned. Nothing was there. A trick. A distraction. I almost calculated the child as intelligent. Almost. But then I saw the truth. The child was not distracting the assassin. He was warning him. Behind the assassin was another human child trapped under broken material. The small human had risked himself to save someone else, even someone who could not help him. My understanding shattered. Humans did not measure value the way we did. The Kharuun valued strength. Humans valued connection. That made no sense. Connection was a weakness, a chain, a limitation. Then why did their chains make them stronger? The assassin attacked. The room exploded into movement. Humans screamed. Humans ran. My old conclusion returned. Chaos, panic, weakness. Then I saw the pattern. They were not running away. They were moving people away. Every adult protected a child. Every child protected another child. Every human became a shield. The assassins were prepared for warriors. They were not prepared for a species where everyone became a warrior when someone else was threatened. I watched Daniel stand in the center of the room. The same child, the same target. The assassin moved toward him. I expected Daniel to activate the impossible power. He did not. He stepped back. He looked afraid. The assassin smiled. He believed he had won. I understood his mistake. The assassin believed fear stopped humans. It did not. Fear was the moment humans changed. Daniel raised his hand, not toward the assassin, toward the other children. A command, a signal, a promise. The hidden ability activated. Not energy, not technology. Something worse. Every human in the room moved at the same time. Perfectly. Like one creature. Like one mind. The assassin froze. I froze. Because I finally understood. The child was not the weapon. The humans were. Their true ability was not strength. Not intelligence. Not technology. It was adaptation. They evolved in seconds. They learned from pain. They turned weakness into strategy. The Dominion had sent assassins to remove one human. They did not understand the mistake. They were not attacking a child. They were awakening an entire species. I watched the assassin fall. Not because Daniel was stronger. Because Daniel was never alone. And for the first time in my existence, I understood the impossible statement I had recorded at the beginning of my mission. Humans survive things that should erase existence. Not because they cannot be destroyed. Because every time they are broken, they become something the universe has never seen before. Han, story ka proper ending ho gaya high. Like in YouTube, HFY style, Kalia and KO Thoda, or powerful Banayaja, Sakta Hai Jahan, like /subscribe CTA Natural Tariq SEA. Ye ending ad kar sakte ho. I returned to the stars with a new report. The Dominion asked one question. How do we defeat humanity? For the first time in my existence, I did not answer immediately. Because I finally understood the truth. Humans were not dangerous because they were the strongest species. They were dangerous because every loss made them stronger. Every wound taught them. Every enemy changed them. The galaxy feared monsters. It feared armies. It feared weapons. But it never feared a species that refused to stay broken. That was humanity's greatest weapon. Not their machines. Not their wars. Not their power. Their will to continue. I was sent to assassinate one human child. Instead, I discovered why the universe had survived every nightmare it had ever created. Because somewhere on a small blue planet, humans were still standing. And that was the most terrifying thing I had ever seen. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more epic HFY sci-fi stories from the edge of the galaxy. Because the next human story may be the one that changes everything.